Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Scraps and Chat. I think I'm gonna do this when there's maybe news or things that pop up throughout the week. I kind of want to do this twice. One recap, one time, just talking. So, I wanted to start off. I don't know. I'm so late. I think Tuivasa Taibura has passed. Now Eunice, and I forget who just passed. So I think we're heading into this week, which is Manon Fiorot versus who the fuck is next? Who the fuck is next? Blanchfield. I knew that. Yeah. So I've been kind of not watching any of the Apex events. Low key, I think everybody's getting tired of the Apex. Ariel Helwani talks a lot about the Apex and how it was getting him tired, and I don't think he talked about that way back then. And honestly, I think people are starting to feel it now. The Apex is fucking boring. Nobody really wants to be there. As cool as it is to, like, over the pandemic when the UFC was starting back up, and there was not one people in the crowd, right? You can really hear those shots. I think the first one was like Ferguson and Gaethje, and you can hear those shots, man. Those things were so nasty. But now it's just you have like a limited amount of fans there in attendance. There's a big difference in like energy. It doesn't really feel like people like there's a lot of buzz, when there's a crowd there. So I'm personally getting tired of these Apex events. That's why I don't think I've been watching any of the last two or three. But I mean, it still fights on Saturday, so I think it was we took a 3-week break in the end of the last year or something like that. And then we had like 11 events straight, and this is part of the 11th one. Part of those 11 events with 300 in there too. But yeah, I'm getting tired of these events being with no energy, no crowd. And I think it also makes the fighters, want to perform better. At the end of the day, they're entertainers. So what do they want to do? Entertain for thousands of people, right? That's what they train for. Or maybe some of them, right? Some train for the glory. Some train for the fame. Everybody wants to get that title. Everybody wants their piece. So it's just, it's interesting, obviously they must save a ton. The UFC must save a ton of money, doing all these shows in house, right? Doing all these events in house. But it does get so stale now at this point. Like, I'm not going to watch a Apex event. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not. I much rather would watch an event with a crowd, but fights are fights. And so, yeah, I don't know. So just looking forward to 300 and maybe finally them changing these fight nights still being at the Apex, and maybe have a residency somewhere or whatever. I don't know how it works, but it's getting fucking annoying. Other than that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the bare knuckle press conference, which is so fucking dope. I got there a little late, sadly. I didn't know. Obviously, bare knuckles still. When I explain this to my wife, I always tell her, the UFC is like a kid right now, right? Or something like that. Let's say in the business world, it's still fairly new. The rules are still fairly whatever. They got to get updated. There's still some things that can be tweaked to make the sport better, but it's still kind of relatively young. And if you look at the UFC and if you look at BKFC is more like the toddler, like it don't even got teeth yet. Not a lot of people watch. It's really brutal, but man, there's something about bare knuckle that for me, it really just fires me up. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's so brutal. It's so nasty. The cuts in there just, and there's some people there, there's a lot of talent out there. I think there's a fighter on Instagram. I think his name is Vinny Pham. I know him. I think he trains. He does some Muay Thai and stuff like that. But he got into the bare knuckle prospects. And he's from out here, like San Gabriel Valley type type stuff. You know, he used to know these guys at the Shack System. Shout out the Shack System, Coach Rusty, and all them. And so, yeah, I think he got picked up by the Hollywood. They were doing some tryouts in Hollywood or something, and I think he got chosen because he got the skills. So shout out to you, man. Good luck. And so, you know, I'm really excited for Perry to come out to LA and show out for the fans out here. I was sad that I got to miss him in Utah, you know, and then we're getting a rematch with Ben Rothwell and Todd Duffy. At the press conference, it seems like Todd Duffy was trying to get a little bit of just trying to poke fun at Rothwell with the scales, or he brought him some tree, I believe. So that was pretty funny. But like I think Rothwell was saying like that they're good friends, and I was really excited to see that fight. I think they're both gonna come and throw down. You know, both UFC vets. Both guys have been fighting for a long time. I think Duffy even fought like in Japan a few times, if I'm not mistaken. Don't fact check me, but yeah, I got to see Lorenzo Hunt. Actually, you know what? I don't even know how long I got there. When I got there, it was at the Peacock Theater and in downtown. And yeah, we got there and we go up to the second floor of the Peacock Theater, and there they have the press conference, which honestly, coming from a production standpoint, the layout was so weird, and it being on the second floor of the Peacock Theater, where it's already kind of divided by this giant fucking hole that's in the ground, on the floor, you know, like it was hard. So you had like the crowd on one side, and then you had like just this whole area blocked off, so you couldn't move to the other side to get a closer view. There was pillars in the way that was really fucking annoying to get there. And, you know, there was a handful of people. Like I said, BKFC is still kind of new, and so yeah, I got to see Perry talk some shit to Alves. You know, he had the cholo fit going with the leather shorts. It was pretty cool. I think the funniest thing I heard Perry say was that you know, the best thing that Alves had done was lose to GSP. And, you know, Alves is I think he's like a former BKFC champion, but he's an OG in the UFC, and he looks so calm up there. Obviously, he's done it 1,000 times, right? So, and I think Julian Lane is the only person that Mike Perry has had like. Julian Lane has had like an excessive amount of fights in BKFC. I think Alves has like 3 or 4, but that's still more than Perry has, right? That's still more than some of the opponents that he's had. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Perry does. But yeah, I was I rewatched the press conference for what I missed, I think, from Hunt and Terrell. And yo, Lorenzo Hunt's got some one-liners, bro. He's pretty funny. And, you know, he looks like he's ready. You know, the other guy, Terrell, I think, big dude. Big dude, man. I mean, these guys are going to throw down. And but both, you know, just from what I'm seeing, you know, I haven't watched a lot of BKFC. I think I've only watched the like marquee events, so like Perry versus Alvarez. You know, that's it. I think MVP versus Perry, but that was like the triangle, I think. Oh no, that was regular BKFC, I think. Anyways, but yeah, you know, I've watched some of like their Friday cards, their live YouTube cards, and you know, it's brutal stuff, you know. And the comments, if you guys want to see a comment section, whatever, live chat that's just lit, that's where you want to go, man. I see some wild stuff on that YouTube live chat when you watch a BKFC fight. But yeah, I'm really excited for this Knucklemania. I hope I get a chance to go since I missed the fight in Utah. And, you know, Perry's always going to show out. So I'm excited for what BKFC has for Knucklemania. I'm excited for what the fighters had to bring. Also, I do truly think BKFC is the future. Give it like another year, another couple of years. The more they get their presence out there, you know, I think the more we're going to see the popularity in BKFC and start seeing some bigger shows with some bigger names. You know, even other fighters. I think Jeremy Stevens, he's a fighter there, and you got other guys like Junior Dos Santos doing bare knuckle MMA. Like that stuff is crazy. You know, all these guys getting a new home. There's new things for them to do. You know, so I'm always excited for new competition, new outlets for combat sports. You know, it's a good time. It's a really, really good time to be a combat sports fan. Let me tell you that. So, yeah, and like for this, like I said, I want it to be more chatty stuff. So I've written some stuff down. I've talked about a little bit about the Apex. I want to talk a little bit about, Jamie Varner was in the news for criticizing Laura Sanko and her commentary, which I think she's on the UFC Fight Night schedule. I personally believe it's bullshit. I think whoever steps into that role now, especially during the ESPN era, is more than capable of knowing what the fuck they're talking about. So I wouldn't think that even just from like a common sense standpoint, like for somebody to not be qualified to be in that position, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of tough. There's things that some other people don't really know that some might know a little bit better, right? There's people who have been corrected on live, on television, on pay-per-views and stuff. And, and probably being a commentator is fucking tough, man. You're watching everything live. You're watching everything that you're saying is being broadcast out to millions and millions of people watching around the world. Like, it must be tough. And you might not get everything right. Not everything goes right all the time, right? You can only have a plan until you don't have a plan, until something you don't expect happens, right? So, I have this in my notes. So I don't know if you guys listen to this podcast called Legion of Skanks. I think it's Big J Okerson, Louis J Gomez, and another guy. But they had Sal Volcano from Impractical Jokers go on, and I think they were like just try to do like what they do, right? And Lewis was like, "Oh, it's bullshit." It's like I think I could do it, right? And so they spent a majority of the video fiddling with the cameras and figuring out how to do it. But at the end, they tell him to call some guy a pussy or something, and he just like freezes up, and then everybody's like, it's not that hard. It's not that easy. It's not that easy, right? To just go and do these things. But it's really funny how like the same thing is happening here. And then everybody, like John Anik started somewhere, Paul Felder started somewhere, that other guy started somewhere, Dan Hardy started somewhere. Like, they all probably didn't have the best calls at the start of their commentary careers, but they obviously grew from that and won over, the hearts of all the people, because they have these iconic calls. Because it'll happen, at some point. Maybe Laura Sanko will call something and it just becomes part of these packaged reels that happen when fighters come out, so everybody's got their time to shine. It's just waiting. All you got to do is you got to get better. It's like fighting. You can't just think you're going to get better by watching people fight, by being in a gym. No, you got to actually fight. You got to actually go to train, right? And so Laura Sanko is just getting her career started, or her commentary career. So, or she's been having it, and switching over to the UFC. So it's just something that as time will get better, and if you're still a hater, then you're still a fucking hater. So who gives a fuck, right? You're just going to hate on everything, and it doesn't fucking matter what people do when they get better. You're just going to fucking hate. So who gives a fuck, right? For me personally, go Laura Sanko. I think you're doing a great job. Something else I want to talk about. I don't know if you guys watched on YouTube, the great Demetrius Johnson placing gold and silver at IBJJF, at IBJJF, So he got gold in featherweight in his weight class, right? And silver in absolute. And I just love how DJ has, if you guys don't know about Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, you can go take a look at one of his, I think, 11 title defenses. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm talking right. Let me make sure I'm talking right. Yeah, 11 title defenses, man. You talk about when he flying armbarred Ray Borg. I think when he fought TJ Dillashaw. I think he fought Dominic Cruz. Man, it's crazy to think how long Demetrius Johnson has been around, and how he even transferred to one championship, right? Became a star over there. I wonder what his next thing is going to be, though. I hope he does fight MMA. He's had such a long career. He's had 2 titles. He won the Grand Prix. I think he fought. Damn, bro. He's He is just one bad motherfucker. One bad motherfucker for reals. Yeah, the Grand Prix. Like, you talk about DJ being one of the most decorated fighters you ever had. That's why he's the GOAT. That's why he is the GOAT for reals. When he knocked out flying Adriano Moraes with his flying knee, I mean, that was crazy. After getting knocked out by a knee from him, you know? And those Grand Prix, man, I love that. I love the Grand Prix style. You talk about pride. You talk about like K1 even. Like K1 still does Grand Prix for kickboxing. Like that tournament style is so fun. I think it's so cool. But yeah, you know, I got to watch the video, and DJ has such a great editing style, by the way. Whoever is his editor and videographer, shout out to them, because they do such a good job of editing and shooting his videos. It's super flowy. It's cool. I love watching DJ grapple. You know, DJ is really just out here completing side missions while still having an active quest on of being an MMA world champion. I mean, it's crazy. You know, he's always going to stay relevant, I believe. His breakdowns on fights, his mind when it comes to fighting and training, it's so cool. It's so beautiful the way he thinks. Like, I never seen, like, even when it comes to losing, you know, he's such a complete athlete. Like, he's just like, fuck, I got to get better. That's all. I got to get better. I can't believe I didn't do this. I think his last fight or his last match on that video, he like, I think it was 30 seconds, and he didn't know, and he got tapped by I think it was like a triangle choke or something like that. But, you know, DJ is such a fun competitor. It's so cool to see him out here giving more shine to jiu-jitsu. I think jiu-jitsu is so fun. It's like a chess match, man. You know, if you can't beat this guy's just going to try to smother you. I also think DJ is just overall, he's just the coolest guy, right? He seems like so fun, and he really instills the importance of jiu-jitsu and martial arts. And I think honestly, it's very important to get people to still, you know, try to do martial arts or do something like in the world of combat sports. It's a fun way to let off steam. It's a fun way to learn how to defend yourself. It's a fun way to get just a crazy workout in, make good friends, right? There's a big giant community now of people who do MMA, combat sports, martial arts. When I was younger, I did Taekwondo, and I did it all the way up till red, 3rd degree. And I think it was one more belt for my black belt. I still regret not getting it. Just to say like, hey, I got a black belt in Taekwondo, right? It doesn't sound so much cooler when you say, hey, I got a red belt 3rd degree, right? Not that cool. So, yeah. And you know, it's a great way of just learning how to be disciplined, how to respect your opponent, how to know not to really hurt somebody, right? How to know when to, if you're in a position where you feel unsafe, how to defend yourself, right? So I always, whenever I see like a family and you see their little kid in like a gi or something and they got their belt, it's like, it puts a big smile on my face, because it's just, I think about the times I had when I was in Taekwondo and all the cool things I learned. And, you know, now trying to train jiu-jitsu and trying to learn more about MMA and wrestling in high school, all this other stuff. It's just fun, you know? I mean, honestly too, if you're just looking to lose weight and work out, just put yourself through like a boxing workout, MMA workout, like a all around. You're wrestling, you're trying to do takedowns, right? You're punching the bag, you're trying to land elbow, like all of that stuff, man. It just activates your body. And for me, it's just, it feels like being able to like relieve your stress, right? All that what you're thinking about, just, it's all gone. You're just thinking move. You're just in your flow state. Like all of that. It's so fun. So to see DJ put out these videos of him, you know, still knocking dudes out, still being out here, just, hey, I think he even wanted to compete in the absolute division for fun. He's like, oh, I'm gonna just check it out. You know, he's like, I just want to see how far I can get. And then even in his video, he's talking about, oh, I didn't think I'd get this far. Honestly, when you're fucking grappling with 280-pound guy and you're 145 pound, or 230-pound guy and you're 145 pounds, like, what the fuck? That's crazy, bro. And you win like that. blows my mind. But that must have been like the funnest thing to feel, is like you literally submit a guy double your size, right? So shout out to DJ, man. It's so cool to see his videos and him competing, you know. And so yeah, you know, we're only a few weeks from UFC 300, or from UFC 300. Let's see how this card is shaping up. Ooh, my goodness, what a card. You know, UFC 299, I think it had its moment where people were like, oh, is it better than UFC 300? I think everybody had their time, and now everybody's just amped and excited for UFC 300. I think there's a lot of stuff building for Pereira and Hill. I think Hill feels very disrespected by everybody thinking that Pereira is going to walk through Jamal. And, you know, I have my own opinions about Jamal, but you know, he's a tough fighter. He did win the champions. He put on a masterclass against Glover. I love Glover, man, but Jamal Hill beat the fucking shit out of Glover in Brazil. And so Jamal's nobody to take lightly. He's got the skills. The more I see his striking, the more I'm like, damn, you know, Alex does have has a button, you know. Alex has been knocked out. So let's see, you know, I'm excited. It's getting me more excited now seeing this in front of my face. So, and Jamal's coming to claim back what was his, right? So Alex has a tough opponent on his plate. And the odds are pretty, you know, they're getting pretty even. They're not too far apart. Then we have Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan. I'm excited for another women's fight. Dude, Weili is always coming to fight. And Yan Xiaonan has been a contender there for a while. So we're looking at 17-3 Yan Xiaonan. 8 wins by knockout. 8 first-round finishes. Ooh. She's going to be a tough cookie to crack. 67% takedown accuracy. She's got wins over Andrade. She's got wins over Dern. She's got a win over Rodriguez. Man, what a tough fight. And then how could we forget the queen, Zhang Weili, when she put on a beating on Joanna. And when she knocked out Rose. Or no, Rose got knocked out by her. 11 wins by knockout, 24-3, Magnum. Man, all these women championships. Valentina the Bullet, Zhang, Magnum. Jeez. Decision over Lemos. A submission over Esparza. That beating over Joanna. I mean, it's going to be a good fight. It's been a while since we've seen Zhang in the octagon. So let's see. Oh, has it been a while? She only got here. The last fight was in August. That's crazy. And then we got the BMF fight. The fight for the BMF title, Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Max Holloway is looking big. Shout out to New Brew. If you're looking for another sponsor, buddy, I'm right here. Yeah, Max is looking pretty big nowadays. You know, it's crazy to see him at lightweight. You know, put the weight on right against number 2 Justin Gaethje, the highlight. And that is just bangers all the way. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. If you sit down during this fight, that is going to be insane. I'm looking for Ricardo Lamas, Max Holloway saying, we're going to, right here, we're going to fucking scrap. And Justin Gaethje just to be like, all right, bet. I'm excited. I mean, this is just swanging and banging, as Derek Lewis would say. I'm really not looking for any technique. Maybe for Max Holloway, he might be looking to stop blocking those head kicks, right? And Justin Gaethje, he's tough as fuck, man. He has a chin. He's going to be able to take some punishment. But Max, when he when he obliterated Calvin Kattar. I mean, that was some beautiful stuff right there. So maybe Max just pours a lot of volume on Justin, tries to look for that KO, and Justin is just looking to rip Max's head off. Maybe he'll wrestle. Maybe he won't. Most likely not. It's UFC 300, baby. We're looking for bonus after bonus after bonus after bonus. Then we got Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. This feels like another new blood, old dog fight. So I'm looking for my boy Do Bronx to get the dub on this one. I really want him to fight for that title again. After he was screwed on the weight scales, that will always be a thing. That'll never not leave my thought when I think of Do Bronx, how he was screwed over. So I hope Charles gets his way back to the title. Arman Tsarukyan, tough young lad from Armenia. Shout out my Armenian peeps. Ooh, I wonder what his name means. Al-Halkalets. Oh, that just means that he's from there. Sick. Cool. Anyways, 21-3, 9 wins by knockout, 5 by submission, 8 first round finishes. Yeah. Knocked out Dariush the last fight. Silva, Ismagulov. Lost to Gamrot. This is number one contendership right here, for sure. Oh, well, no. Gaethje, if he wins, I think is a shoo-in for number one contender. Then this would definitely be another fight after this one, or just sit on the title fight. But man, what a young dude. I mean, it's going to be a banger of a lightweight fight. Brazil versus Armenia. Number 4 versus number 1. Then we got Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. Dude, Bo Nickel is a minus 1350 favorite over Cody's plus 800. I love an underdog, but every fight on this is going to hurt. Every fight on UFC 300 is going to be painful. Honestly, I think what UFC 300 presents is a lot of movement after this. So that's why I think, for me personally, I'm getting excited, because you have these short, like number 4 versus number 1. It's not like, it's, so I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot of movement here. Number 4 versus number 1, number 2 versus number 2. You got even ranked fighters on the prelims. Like, that's what I'm talking about. So Bo is fighting Cody Brundage. Bo is obviously looking to wrestle. Cody Brundage, another wrestler, I believe. Middleweight division. Oh, 5 wins by knockout. 3 wins by submission. Has a 56% striking average. Okay. KO, TKO. Unanimous decisions. Crazy stuff. And that's the main card right there. Now we have even ranked fighters in fucking the prelims. So then we have Yuri versus, why do I always hear shit going outside? Yuri versus Alexander Rakic. I think Alexander's coming back from a surgery, I believe. Or is that Vicente Luque? Yeah, I believe Alex had a nasty knee injury that put him out for like a couple years. So but we've been waiting for him for a while. So for him to come back in, right, be in the mix with Yuri after coming off a loss to his light heavyweight title, I mean, I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of movement here. So I'm really excited to see what happens. So we have number 2 versus number 5, Yuri versus Alex. I feel like Yuri's going to try to be over there and use that Czechoslovakian power, Czechia power to knock out Serbian Alexander Rakic. I'm looking for another just slobber knocker of a fight. 2 guys who are looking just to straight up kill each other. I don't think there's going to be a lot of takedowns here. They both have really good takedown defense. Woo. And those are some big boys, man. Light heavyweights looking real good. And then we have the featherweight debut for Mr. One, Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling versus the guy who Max Holloway beat, Calvin Kattar. What an introduction to the featherweight division. I don't know, man. Sometimes Aljamain just likes to play it safe, and I think that's what he's gonna do this time. Calvin Kattar is always down to scrap. I mean, even he's extremely tough. If you guys watch that beatdown from Max, if you guys watch that fight from Max, and Calvin, like Calvin still hung in there the whole time. I mean, he was a bloody mess, but Calvin is tough as nails. So what an introduction to the featherweight division for Mr. Aljamain Sterling. They both have some similar fight times. 3 wins by knockout, 8 by submission. Ooh, maybe Aljamain would go down and do some jiu-jitsu, right? Maybe some jiu-jitsu. Man, looking at his record. Sterling, Cejudo, Dillashaw. The second Jan fight. Man, crazy to think that Jan is now finally on a winning streak after that knee. And then we have the debut of Kayla Harrison coming from the PFL, finally doing it, finally making the jump over. We had Venom Page. Now we have Kayla Harrison taking on number 5 Holly Holm. What a fight, man! Holly Holm has been a part of some of the most iconic women's moments in like UFC history, right? You got the knockout, which knocked out Ronda Rousey with that nasty head kick, and so what? And then what, a decorated boxer at the end of it. Like, it's crazy. What a career Holly Holm has had. UFC champ, boxing champ. I mean, it's crazy. And then Kayla Harrison, 2-time judo Olympian. And so a dominator in PFL, finally making her debut in the UFC. We have Michael Venom Page making his debut, and he got a dub. So I'm thinking Kayla's going to win. I'm thinking Kayla's going to try to wrestle a lot, and it's going to be a fucking bitch when she gets wrapped up, to be honest. Sadiq Youssef versus everybody's new favorite guy, Diego Lopez. I mean, we're talking fight banger after banger. This one's going to be a great. I'm looking for Diego Lopez just to come and swing and bang. Even the early prelims, you got Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano. I think that's the latest fight. Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. Bobby Green versus Jim fucking Miller. Man, Jim Miller fighting for so fucking long. Bobby Green coming right back after that. Was it a knockout? I think he got knocked out. What the fuck? I think he did get knocked out. By Jalen Turner. Yeah. But that should be a fun fight. Both durable guys. Jim Miller. Been doing it for a long time. And then the first fight of the night is literally Davison Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. How are you going to want to miss that? How are you going to want to miss the early prelim for that? Come on, dude. Crazy. Crazy. So I'm super excited. I'm getting more pumped as time goes by. I probably won't watch Furo versus Blanchford. I might. I don't know. This is a Saturday fight. Fights are fights. So anyways, I'm so excited for the next couple events. And then 301. I mean, it's crazy to think that we're getting UFC 300 at the beginning of this year. And then we still have just another, what? Like 10 months to 9 months of fights. I don't know what fucking month it is. 9 months. Yeah, 9 months. But yeah, so UFC 300 is going to be some fun stuff. I want to know what you guys are doing. What are you guys doing for UFC 300? Is it we got the little carne asada going on at home? Are we going to the bar? Are we going there yourself? If you are, give me some tickets. Anyways, are we going to fucking just chill at home and scream at our TVs? Because that's most likely what I'll be doing. I don't know. But Man, I don't know actually. Maybe I want to go out. Maybe I want to go finally do something. Maybe I'll go to a sports bar. Go enjoy this. Go eat some fucking just some big ass plate of wings. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. To be honest. To be honest. Oh, how can we not talk? How can we not talk about fucking the bite? I say I don't watch UFC Apex events pretty much, but I totally missed this one. Is the bite Igor Severino biting his opponent and letting him get the I got fucking bit bonus? That's crazy, man. That is insane. How you get, dude, and it was a hard fucking bite, like right on his bicep. Like that shit looked nasty, nasty, and he had to have fucked up his mouthpiece or something, or his mouthpiece must have fell off. But man, he bit the shit out of him. And then Dana was nice enough to give him the bonus. I mean, the guy got fucking punished, immediately released from the UFC, and I think they're withholding his money. So that goes to show, man, cheating like that, bro, blatant cheating like that, you're going to get fucking punished. So that's crazy. I cannot believe that happened. That was a nasty bite. And then homie got the tattoo. He got it tattooed on him. So what a way to remember. Let's see some other things here. And we got Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez for UFC 302, possibly. That's crazy. That's gonna be a good one. I hope Fluffy can show out again. Man, and what a good time, just like I said again, what a good time for combat sports. You know, we have even PFL or Bellator going to HBO Max. Like, what a time to be alive where you can get all this access to combat sport. I think one's still on Prime every Friday night. You got BKFC on YouTube. You got the UFC. You got PFL still out there. What a time to be a combat sports fan, right? You got all the boxing shit going on with Netflix, and you got Haney versus Garcia coming. It's crazy, right? So, and talk about all these homes, right? Like, we got Netflix getting into live sports. That's going to be insane. Tyson fighting Paul, which everybody is scared for Paul. I mean, scared for Tyson, but honestly, Tyson is he still looks like he can train. From the MMA Hour, I think Ariel had Rafael Cordero from King's MMA, who used to train, I mean, the toughest guys. I think Kings used to be Blackzilians, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. That's some OG shit right there. King. Crazy. But anyways, you know, Rafael Cordero, and he said that he looks great. He looks cool. So I'm excited, honestly. Fuck it. Mike Tyson has so much fucking money. He can do whatever the fuck he wants with it, right? He can do whatever he wants at this time. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited to see it. Like I said, what a time to be alive for combat sports. What a time to be able to consume all these different outlets of combat sports. What a good time to have your new next favorite fighter, right? So, you know, I'm excited for what's this year of fighting. No, we have Brandon Moreno saying he wants to take a step out from the UFC for a while. You know, just like Izzy. Izzy took an extended breakout from the UFC, and so from MMA, and so Brandon's doing the same thing. And obviously, fighters know who they are. At the end of the day, people get burnt out. People rely too much on other people or the coaches, the training, the constant having to keep up. So, good thing for Brandon Moreno. You know, it takes a lot to be able to step away from the sport you love, the sport that you spend so much time doing, right? He's probably going to go build like 7 Death Star Legos, right? Or something like that. He's probably doing some crazy Lego stuff right now. So shout out to Brandon Moreno. And yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to call it there, guys. So this is Jason again with Scraps and Taps for the Scraps and Chat. I want to do this once in a while. Thank you guys for watching, like, and subscribe. I'll see you guys possibly at UFC 300. Peace.